Business Rescue has been around for just over 7 years now, and everybody's been referring to the infant legislation, but now I think we should rather refer to the infant as grown up, and we've already seen the good, the bad and the ugly of the toddler. Business Rescue has had a bad rap on some levels, but what we don't appreciate is the successes that Business Rescue has seen over the past 7 years. The legislation was always designed to create an environment for ailing businesses to restructure their affairs efficiently. Now, the restructuring of ailing businesses has been around for as long as business has been around, but for the first time we have a dedicated set of statutes that allow for a framework in which we can do what we always have been doing. The toddler has taught us that it is not a magic potion. It is not there for every ailing business, but for those with the necessary credentials and fundamentals, it is an invaluable tool to restructure and save what would otherwise have been the end of many very good businesses. We've seen some very good successes of late, especially in the mining sector, where we've seen the restructuring of many strategic chrome resources, chrome smelters and their associated mines. 3 that went into Business Rescue in a very short space of time, all being successfully rescued. And it just goes to show that Business Rescue really does have the means to save what would otherwise have been complete destruction of value and jobs had it not been for that legislation. More recently, we've seen the construction industry taking some serious knocks. It's always been said that the construction industry is a barometer of the economy at large. We all know that our economy is not exactly pumping at the moment, that it's just toddling along, and the construction industry is an example of that. We've seen notes recently that in the past 10 years, the market capitalization of the 3 largest construction companies on the JSE has come down from a staggering 31 billion rand 10 years ago to as little as 350 million rand. That's almost 1% of its market capitalization a decade ago. It is thus not surprising that at least 3 of the very large construction companies in the country have in the past few months sought to protect themselves with Business Rescue. The first one to go was Basil Reed, who has subsequently presented to its creditors a Business Rescue plan, which they have adopted, and we really hope that that will be successful. The 2 others, which we're very fortunate that our firm is dealing with, the Lavera group of companies and ESO Construction, also recently filed for Business Rescue. And had it not been for Business Rescue, these 3 companies that I've mentioned would today be in liquidation. And tens of thousands of jobs would either be at risk or most probably have been lost. We heard most recently that our president has stated it as a national imperative that we should get the economy up and running, upskill our people and produce. Now, the construction industry is most certainly one of those sectors that will benefit, I believe, in the years to come from this stated objective of government. And was it not for Business Rescue, we may very well have lost many of these critical skills, because by the time that the government comes around to pumping that kind of money into the construction and infrastructure development, we may very well not have that kind of expertise and ability left in the country. So in a very significant and perhaps not appreciated level, Business Rescue is a tool on both to achieve the national imperative of saving jobs and eventually upskilling the most needy of our people. business rescue is not a swear word. Many creditors are still not convinced that it is the answer. It isn't designed to be a fix-all. It is designed to create a platform where we can balance the interests of all stakeholders. Now, in order to balance the interests, there has to be a give and take. And up to now, all that happened is that everybody lost. So business rescue is that opportunity to create an opportunity and to unlock the value that still remains in distressed businesses. To return to the construction sector, the sector has the capability of employing tens of thousands of people. The ability to build and create infrastructure that this country so much needs. Without that ability, all we'll be doing is spending our hard-earned tax money to pay the government to import that skill, which would serve very little purpose. So on that final note, support the construction industry as far as you can. The business rescues we will work hard at to try and keep those abilities available. And yes, business rescue in the construction industry at the moment, very acute, a tool to restructure ailing companies, correctly used by dedicated and professional individuals. It can most certainly achieve the fundamental goals it was set out to do.